The observation deck of the Valiant Hope had become Jenna's favorite spot in the entire Coalition fleet. She'd lean against the reinforced viewing panel, watching distant stars blur into streaks as the ship cut through subspace, and she'd eat her lunch in peace. Today's meal was simple: a peanut butter and jelly sandwich on whole wheat bread, an apple, and a small bag of potato chips. It was supposed to be peaceful. The Drachnir were a proud warrior race. Their reputation preceded them across 17 star systems. Apex predators from a death world where survival meant constant vigilance. Standing 8 feet tall with obsidian scales, razor-sharp claws, and eyes that could track movement in near-total darkness, they were the Coalition's most feared shock troops. Even other predator species gave them a wide berth, which made the current situation all the more absurd. Jenna looked down at the 3 Drachnir cubs surrounding her boots. They couldn't have been more than a year old by human standards, barely reaching her knee. Their scales were still soft and gray, not yet hardened into the armor their adult forms would boast. But their eyes, those vertical slitted golden eyes, were locked onto her sandwich with laser focus. "No," Jenna said firmly, raising the sandwich higher. "This is mine." The boldest cub, whose name she'd learned was Cor, chirped and stood on his hind legs, tiny claws flexing. His tail swished back and forth with determination. Across the observation deck, Cor's mother, Commander Sharik, watched with what Jenna could only describe as mortified confusion. The 7-foot commander had brought her cubs to the deck for what was supposed to be a hunting lesson. She'd even brought a fresh carcass, a visceral beast from the station's cold storage. Its meat prized among Drachnir for its nutritional value. The cubs had ignored it completely. "I do not understand," Sharik rumbled, her deep voice carrying notes of genuine bewilderment. "The visceral is fresh. It is premium protein. Why do they fixate on your plant matter?" Jenna took a bite of her sandwich and all 3 cubs sat at attention, their heads tilting in unison. "It's not just plant matter. There's peanut butter in here." "Peanut butter?" Sharik tested the words carefully as if they might be a human curse. "Ground nuts mixed with salt and oil. It's a protein paste, technically." Jenna crouched down, examining the cubs. Cor inched forward immediately. "Your kids have good instincts, Commander. This probably smells way more interesting than raw meat to them." "Impossible. Drachnir are obligate carnivores. We have been for 3 million years of evolution." "Sure, but you're also curious hunters, right?" Jenna broke off a tiny piece of crust, no peanut butter, just bread, and held it out. Cor snatched it instantly, his siblings crowding in. All 3 chewed experimentally, their throat ridges vibrating in what Jenna had learned was the Drachnir equivalent of a purr. Sharik's scales rippled with agitation. "This is highly irregular. Commander, with respect, I've been on this ship for 6 months. I've seen your warriors go crazy for my Terran coffee, watched your pilot barter 3 days' salary for a chocolate bar, and literally yesterday, your chief engineer asked me how to make the crunchy yellow triangles after he smelled my nachos." The commander's jaw dropped slightly, revealing rows of serrated teeth. "Engineer Vok did what?" "Yeah." Jenna stood, brushing crumbs from her uniform. The cubs immediately began hunting the fallen crumbs across the deck floor. "Humans don't just eat for fuel, Commander. We eat for pleasure. We've spent thousands of years making our food taste incredible. We add spices, textures, combinations of flavors that trigger primal hunting instincts," Sharik interrupted, understanding dawning in her eyes. "The complexity, the variety of scents. It mimics the challenge of tracking multiple prey types. Maybe. I just know it tastes good." Jenna smiled. "And apparently your cubs agree." Cor had discovered the potato chip bag. His tiny claws carefully extracted one chip and his eyes widened as he bit down. The crunch echoed across the deck. Within seconds, all 3 cubs were chittering excitedly, trying to stick their snouts into the bag. "Absolutely not." Sharik moved with the terrifying speed her species was famous for, snatching the bag away. She examined the nutrition label, her translator implant working overtime. "Sodium saturated fats, MSG." "What is MSG?" "Monosodium glutamate. It's a flavor enhancer. You enhance the flavor artificially." "Welcome to human cuisine, Commander." Sharik stared at the chip bag like it was a live grenade. "This is a weapon. It's a snack food. On Drachnir Prime, our cubs hunt their first live prey at age 2. They tear flesh. They learn the scent of blood." She gestured at her 3 offspring who were now sitting in a perfect row, staring up at Jenna with hopeful eyes. Mine are begging for processed carbohydrates. Jenna couldn't help but laugh. Commander, can I be honest with you? Please. Every species in this coalition is here because you're all incredible at what you do. Drachnir are unmatched warriors. The Vestrani are brilliant engineers. The Kotari navigate subspace like it's second nature. She pulled out her apple and took a bite. All 3 cubs tracked the movement. But humans? Our superpower isn't strength or intelligence or technology. It's that we made eating into an art form. We conquered our own planet partly because we learned to make food so good that we could survive anywhere and actually enjoy it. Sharik was quiet for a long moment. Then, you're saying the reason humanity thrives across multiple colonies in hostile environments on long-duration missions is because your food is too delicious to ignore? Basically, yeah. The commander looked at her cubs, then at the untouched Vikral carcass, then back at Jenna. I need to file a report. About what? Cultural contamination. Culinary warfare. I don't know yet, she paused. What is in that apple? It's just an apple? It's a fruit. It's shiny. Why is it shiny? Wax coating. Keeps it fresh. You coat your food in wax. Edible wax, yes. Sharik's translator made a sound like a sigh. Humanity is terrifying. Jenna grinned and broke off 3 small pieces of apple. The cubs devoured them immediately, their purring intensifying. You know, Commander, if you want, I could teach you how to make a simple sandwich. Might be useful for long missions when fresh meat isn't available. Absolutely not. I will not. Sharik stopped as Kor climbed onto her foot and looked up at her with pleading eyes. The mighty warrior's resolve visibly crumbled. Perhaps a basic recipe for emergency rations only. Sure, emergency rations. Jenna pulled out a small notebook. I'll write it down for you. As Jenna sketched out instructions for peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, Kor managed to snag the last corner of her original sandwich. He chittered triumphantly, his siblings tackling him immediately. Sharik watched her cubs wrestle over processed, human food while a perfectly good carnivore meal sat ignored nearby. We conquered 14 star systems, she muttered. We have never retreated from battle. We are the apex. Yes, Commander. And we're losing to peanut butter. Yes, Commander. The cubs continued to purr,